Cleanfax Women in Leadership series. I'm Elizabeth Christenson, Cleanfax editor. I'm joined by Miri Offir, 911 Restoration CEO. On top of 911 Restoration's continued success, Miri's leadership has earned her a Gold Stevie Award in the Women of the Year franchising category. As a leader in restoration in business, Miri was recognized for her human-first approach to leadership, dedication to innovation, and her ability to provide support for individuals at every level of business. Under Miri's leadership as CEO for the last 2 years, 911 Restoration has grown to nearly 300 territories. So I really wanted to talk to her today, and let's dive in. 911 Restoration has really been growing, as I said. Can you tell us about all of your latest news and about that growth?
Absolutely. First, thank you so much for having me. I'm really happy to be here today. So tons of things are going on right now. Our goal is to be at 200 locations, right? Right now we're at about 110 locations. So we want to be at 200 locations, which means 600 territories. We just finished new owners training, and we had 10 new owners that recently are about to open. So we have great momentum. For us, it's not really about the quantity, it's more about the quality, right? Like for us, it's all about the fresh start attitude and empathize. We do things differently. So it's not only to expand to have 200 locations, but to have the right people that share the same core values as we do. So that's on that. Of course, our partnerships. So we launched a new division for National Accounts Partnership. We pretty much tailored a product that help and support national accounts and commercial clients, right? Such as like the CBREs of the world, pretty much tailored to everything that they need. Of course, making sure that we provide white glove services. So that's a big initiative right now that we see a lot of growth into, and we're very proud of the things that we do and how different it is comparing to the market. Another big thing is automation. Automation is a big thing right now for us. Lots of innovations. You could probably hear a lot about the AIs and all the automation out there. So truly the vision is to clear the time from our existing team members at HQ. So, all the repetitive tasks and things that we can clear out of their schedule so they can truly have the time to focus on our franchisees and give them the best experience that we can. So that's a big thing. And again, on top of all of that, customer experience, right? That's a big thing for us, maintaining our culture, being open-minded, care about people, because I truly believe that in order to make a difference, all you have to do is genuinely care. So that's something that is really important for us.
Wow, you have a lot going on. And you have a long history with 911 Restoration too. What motivated you to step up and become leader in the business? And could you tell us a little bit about your background and what your role at the company looks like?
Absolutely. So I just love helping people. When I started with 911 Restoration, that was many, many years ago, over 20 years. Back then, I was here in the US, single mom. My family were all, abroad. I had two babies. Back at the time, they were 2 and 4 years old. I had months that I wasn't sure if I would be able to pay rent or not. It was to that extent. And, when all you need sometimes is just one person that believes in you and gives you that stage. So that's really was my journey with 911 Restoration and the founder, right? Because that's back then, that's how we started. And here I am today, right? So proud, being able to provide to my children. And for me, it's that sense. First, I'm very grateful for it. And for me, it's all about giving and doing the same to others. So this is really what differentiates us. We believe in people, and that's really the culture and the legacy. And for me, to see them when we meet them at the annual conference, right? Sometimes, these are franchisees that spend their retirement dollars, and this is like their last chance, and being with them and sitting with them and hearing, their success story and how that impacted their personal lives and, with their spouse and their children really mean the world to me. And it's very, very rewarding. So that's kind of why I kind of stepped into leadership.
Could you tell us a little bit about your Stevie Award for Women in Business honor then? And why do you think you were chosen?
Sure. So my true vision on a personal level, right, is to form communities that are rooted based on collaboration, transparency, and unity, right? We can clearly see in the world how much craziness is going on and people disagree with each other and wars. So that's what it really is for me on a personal level. And that really reflects on me as a person and me as a leader, right? So it's always, step into a conversation with an open mind, try to put myself in someone else's shoes, empathize with them, right? So I think that type of leadership was, what make them kind of look at me in a different light and honor me with this award.
Well, congratulations. And, with all this leadership experience, I wanted to ask you what some of the best leadership advice you have received. And is there any advice you would give to young women aspiring to leadership roles, particularly in restoration?
So my best advice for women, especially in a male-dominated industry, is to embrace our strengths, and we have plenty. We're softer, we are more nourishing and nurturing. And if you think about it, especially in the male-dominated world, right, sometimes we may step into a more heated conversation, and with that softer approach, and with that nurturing perspective and approach, we're able to change the communication matter, change the tone of the conversation, leads to better collaboration and resolve situations much, much faster. So I think, again, as women, we're so gifted and we just have to acknowledge it and embrace it. Another thing that I would advise to any leader or anyone out there is to really keep the promises that we make to ourselves, as I think this is key. If we want anyone to follow our advice, it's essential that we follow, ourselves. So these are the main things that's really working for me. Stick to my inner truth, and great things always happen.
Well, that was all great advice there. To wrap this all up, what do you expect for 9/1 restoration this year? And I know we don't have a crystal ball here, but as we look ahead, what do you expect for the restoration industry as a whole? And I might even throw in there the franchise industry as a whole.
So sure. So for 9-1 restoration, as I said earlier, there's a lot going on. Expansion, right, and growth. So this is what it's all about for us. And again, going back to that movement of empathy and doing things differently in the world, because I think it's very much needed. And we kind of utilize the stage of 9-1 restoration and serve people and help them when they go through chaos. So this is really how we step up and help them and make them feel better. So obviously expansion, our goal is to end the year with 30 to 40 new locations. So very ambitious. I think it's very doable as well. Of course, continue the expansion with the commercial clients. And in terms of our industry, I think especially with all the chaos that's going on with the climate and the weather, unfortunately, we know that the restoration industry is necessity. And it's something that continues to grow. I mean, if we look statistically at the weather, we constantly see that it's getting worse and worse every year, and there are more jobs, whether if it's fires, unfortunately, here that we experience in LA, or maybe hurricanes that are more on the East Coast. In general, I think that considering all the amazing technology right now that we see, like a lot of automation, a lot of AIs, a lot of people are already losing their jobs, and I think it's going to be even more severe as we move forward. Therefore, I think we're going to see more entrepreneurs trying to establish their own business. And when it comes to the franchise models, especially because I do think that, there's going to be more competition, which we already see in the restoration industry, by the way, just because it's so profitable. I think it's going to be much more challenging to sustain a successful business as a small business owner. And that's why being part of a franchise model, right, where you have the brand name and you have, you're part of a larger group, is going to be essential to not only survive, but really grow and be successful financially and professionally. So I think, moving forward, the franchise model is going to be stronger and more essential to business success.
Well, I look forward to seeing all that your company does this year. Thank you for all your great insights.
My pleasure. Thank you so much for having me.